looking fine as always.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jenner.
You've always been a very handsome, I got pictures from you when you were a young girl, and you've always been just very handsome, yeah. And we're going to talk about some of the things we didn't get a chance to in the last program. Yeah. And welcome very much to Conversation. Pleasure to welcome to the program Gizella Weisshaus. We've done a program with her in the past. She's got an incredibly interesting and disturbing story to tell on a couple of fronts. If I may, just in a sort of introductory way, said she's a Jewish Holocaust survivor. She was at the infamous Auschwitz concentration camp as a young girl, survived that, and then there's many other things that's been part of her life after that experience, and we're going to be talking about all that. Gizella, welcome very, very much to Conversation. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you, Mr. Jenner, for giving me the opportunity to be here. Really, when I came there the first time, I didn't know what doing and what the program is all about. Now I know, and I want to expose what I know. And I'm asking the American people, they should help me and they should help themselves, because what's happening to this country is really not nice, and it shouldn't be happening.
Thank you. We're talking on the 16th of October of the year 2008.
Yes.
And among other things, we have a financial meltdown going on all over the planet, you know, and there's a lot of things catching up. We'll get to that. But Gizella, please, we have the program was played a long time ago. Share briefly your background. You were born in Romania, in a little town of, what's the name of the town?
Sighet.
Sighet, near Satmar.
It's not far from Satmar. My father was from Satmar. My mother was from Sighet. So what I'm talking here, I have the right to talk because I'm speaking about my ancestors.
Yes.
And they were involved with the rabbis there and with all the things that happened to Sighet. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about the famous Rabbi Joel Teitelbaum.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was born in the same city, and when he got married, his father was sick already. A week later, his father died. He left the city. He had an older brother, and that older brother supposedly was FDS rabbi in Sighet. So he went to a small town there, and then they always asked him he should come to Satmar.
So what time are we talking? What years, roughly?
What the years that happened, and I think after the First World War.
After the First World War.
I think so.
And let me set it for you. Sighet's a small town, relatively, that you were born and raised in Romania.
It's not just a small town. I mean, it's the main city of the area there.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that, because you had a map of just your house and a few people. I thought it was just a little village.
No.
Okay.
We had about 13 or 14,000 Jews only.
Okay.
Jews.
That's when you were young, you're talking about.
Yes.
And this is in the country of Romania.
It's in the country of Romania. It's called Marmureș. That's the area, like a state here.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And then there's also the Satmar is the town you're referring to.
Yeah.
And the Satmar is familiar. There's a whole sect of Judaism, Satmar, and I presume there's a relationship between Satmar and Romania and the Satmar group of Orthodox Judaism.
Sure, I'm telling you, we were connected because, after all, the rabbi used to come to Satmar before he was even elected rabbi. And one of my great-grandfathers, they built him even a synagogue. He should feel, because he always liked Satmar. It was a very nice city, and very besides this, the people were different there, more observant, everything like in Sighet. Sighet was like this. It was near the border.
With?
Near the border, not far from the border.
Of what?
Of Russia, of Poland, of
I
everything.
see. Oh, I see. Okay.
So people, when they came from that countries, from Poland, from Russia, they had to come to Sighet first. So it was more a mixture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so all kinds of people came, and it wasn't so. When well kept and not so observant like Satmar was. His brother died in 1926.
Yeah, you're talking about Teitelbaum.
Teitelbaum.
Yeah, Teitelbaum. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Joel's older brother.
And he was a giant of a Rebbe.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. See, we're not aware of that.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about 7 generations of rabbi, and
That's
you have a tracing of your own family
that's my
of
family.
7 generations back in Romania. Yeah.
And Siget, only in Siget.
In
And
Siget.
then I have even from beforehand a very interesting story. One of my great grandfathers, he came to Siget. That time it was, I don't know if you know about, there was a sect who claimed he is the Messiah. It was called Chapsotzvi.
Don't know. I don't know.
You don't know.
There must have been a number like
he
that.
He converted then to Christianity.
I see.
But he left some of his people who believed in him, and they made a different approach. So in Siget, the people were believing he was called Frank. He came someplace from I don't know which country. And in Siget, the people believed in him. They kept like certain religious observances, but the most thing they believed in him. So I had a great-great-grandfather who came to that city, and he tried to change them and tell them that this is wrong. They wouldn't believe in him, so he became almost like mentally sick. He said that because of his sins that the people don't listen to him. So anyway, he died. So, and he was buried in the town there. And when the town started to expand, this is about close to 300 years, I think.
Yeah.
So when the town started to expand, the cemetery became almost in the center of the town of Siget.
Your house was just behind the cemetery.
Yeah, that's the new cemetery.
Yeah. Oh, that's the new one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So the town decided that cemetery has to be moved because it's in the center of the town and they want to expand the town.
They got to put some high rises.
Yeah, not that time. So they moved the cemetery where it's now.
Right. Okay.
But they couldn't move his grave.
Huh?
No way they could move it. They told me they used horses, they used all kinds of things. His grave wasn't, they wouldn't be able to.
Teitelbaum?
No.
No, who?
No.
The other guy.
His name was Abramovich.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So his grave was left in the center of the city on sidewalk.
Yeah.
And it's across the street from the college. And it stays there for generations.
That's interesting.
And you should believe the non-Jewish people keep it so well, and they claim it's such a good feeling for them. The Nazis tried to open it up, and they wouldn't let him.
No, really?
Yes.
They could foresaw that, right?
It's even now on the sidewalk in the center of the town.
I'll be darned. And that's where you grew up. And
I grew up there. So my grandfather used to go and keep his anniversary. So anyway, now I'm going to speak about Satmar because I want to speak too much in 1 hour.
Yeah, I know. There's only 1 hour, and you got a lot to report.
Yes. And besides this, I have to tell you that my grandson told me that the first show was seen by over 4,000 people.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, very good.
Yeah, so if people are interested what I'm telling you.
Yes,
I'm speaking now about Joel Teitelbaum.
Okay.
This is a book.
I can show the book, okay, while you're talking. Yeah, this is a Rebbe,
this book, the original in Hebrew, was, we published it now about 8 months ago from my late son, his writings. It was grabbed up. Yeah, everybody bought the book. And we
this
had,
one?
Yes.
Yeah,
No, it's not this, the Hebrew.
Oh, in Hebrew. Yeah.
In Hebrew.
Yeah,
This
is
is only about a fifth of the book that was translated in Hebrew, in English.
I see.
For people who don't know, can't read Hebrew.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Now we have a second printing that's double than the first printing. Because we included other things what my late son wrote. And here you can see.
Oh, yes, okay.
Let me show you. Here is who wrote this book.
Okay, and if you can come in on the title page while she's talking.
Yeah.
And you're proud of this book because it brings to light this very important religious figure.
That's one. And my son, my late son, he was a believer in him. And his life, he was a student of his. My husband was a student of his.
Oh,
my grandfather believed in him, and my great-grandfather.
Wow.
So,
wow, that goes way back.
Yeah. And I have now great-grandchildren
who believe in Joel Rebbe. Yeah, that's really wonderful.
So,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you a little bit how his life was. He came here to the United States in 1947.
Okay.
Yeah. He came from Israel. And he started the religious schools and everything. And he was here from 1947. He died about 28 years ago. So, and a wonderful thing what he did. And he survived. How he survived to this day, it's a mystery, because he was on that train that Kastner had. There was a
I remember. Yeah.
So, and they claimed that Kastner's mother told him that you shouldn't leave Europe without the Satmar Rebbe. Yeah. So, and that she was dreaming that he has to take the Satmar Rebbe. Yeah. But the Satmar Rebbe himself says no. They don't believe in dreams, and they don't believe that there is a higher power. So, but anyway, he survived like this on the Kastner train.
Wow.
So he went to Switzerland.
It might be worth mentioning the Kastner train. There are people who won't know what that is. You want to explain that quick. And it might tie back to the fact that you were, as a young girl, at Auschwitz.
Yeah.
Let's bring that in, okay?
All right. The Kastner train was a man by the name of Kastner. I don't remember his first name. And he had an agreement with Eichmann that they would let that train pass by. He wanted to
save some
of his friends. He wasn't a Satmarer believer. So, but anyway, and that train was about 1,600 people who survived. They went to Germany and then to Switzerland.
Okay. Yeah.
But they weren't in Auschwitz. And he was on this train. When he arrived in Switzerland, the Swiss people, the Jews, I mean, were very, very pleased, and they helped him a lot. So, and then he went to Israel from Switzerland.
Okay.
And in 1947, he came here.
Okay.
Yeah.
To Israel. Yeah.
To the United States.
To the United States. Sorry.
Yes,
okay. Yeah.
He started the schools, the yeshivas from scratch.
Okay.
I have pictures, and even my late son, who wrote this book, I mean, certain things. I mean, they asked me, he didn't attend his school because they came to ask him he should come to their yeshiva because they needed children. They were carrying them in baby carriages. Like this, they started the yeshiva. So, I let my son go before he was 3 years old. He had his hair because we cut the hair usually at 3.
Okay.
So he used to come home and crying to me. They tell me I'm a girl, I'm not a boy. But, all right, but like this, they started the schools here, everything from scratch. We came here, I came with 2 children. I married in Satmar. And both of them are deceased now, my 2 first ones. So my oldest one was 2.5 years, and the youngest one was a half a year old, the younger one. So, and I came here, and they put me in a hotel it was horrible. First of all, they didn't let me stay here because too many people came. They sent me to Detroit, to other places, and then they told my husband, it's no way for you to stay there in that places. It's not a place for you. You have to go back to New York. So we came back to New York. I was here exactly for the days in the United States. So they approached one of the rabbis, man who know him from Satmar, back my husband, because he was a student of the rabbi. He approached him, he should be a member. He says, what's that, a member? He never knew what it means. Yeah. He says, I'm looking for an apartment. That's more important. Says, you are going to be a member. So, all right, you want me a member, I'll be a member.
Right.
So he signed up. That was in 1950.
50, that's when you came?
Yeah.
1950.
So like this, we moved a little bit, in Williamsburg we lived, but a little bit on the side where there is now a famous hospital called Football Hospital. We lived there. My husband used to walk into the rabbi till we moved to Williamsburg, where we lived for many years. So, and he always attended his prayers and everything, I mean, but we were never this type that we should push ourselves. We kept quiet for ourselves, and we did everything what the rabbi said to us. So
this Teitelbaum.
Teitelbaum.
Did you know Harriet Karchner? A woman named Harriet Karchner?
Harriet Karchner? No.
No. Okay.
No. Okay. So, but and I became very active in their charity organizations. And that time, I believed that charity has to be from honest money. I used to work at home, making doll clothes for a factory or something, even when I had 4 children or 6 children. And I had to help out my husband because he couldn't make a decent living. My husband we are married, thank God, for almost 63 years.
63 years? You're getting to know one another, I would think, yeah.
But he working piecework in a factory, he learned how to run a sewing machine. So it was very hard for him to make a decent living. Even I didn't ask too much, but I was enjoying to work at home. I have even a sewing machine that I bought that time. An old Singer sewing machine. I paid $90 that time. It's
still working?
It's still working. I'm working
boy,
on it.
The Singer knew how to make machines, didn't they?
It's 58 years old. So, and I'm sewing my clothes on it.
Good, yeah.
So.
And you had been at Auschwitz.
Yes.
As a young girl when the Nazis took over. So, and that was a pretty harrowing thing. You'd gotten through that.
I'm telling you, sure. When I just survived after the war, and I found the money that my father told us that he. First of all, I came home and I helped them to hide the silverware from the house. I have my father's silverware.
This is when chaos was descending.
In the house.
Yeah.
Then I was looking for the money. I really didn't know because when my father told about the money, I was crying because he took the children with him.
Awful,
and I didn't hear everything, but I had the feeling this money has to be. So till I was looking, I think it's written in the book, I find the money. So when I find the money, I left Satmar. And the Satmar Rebbe had his nephew. He stayed in Sighet that time. He didn't like me at all. Why? There is 2 reasons. First of all, he didn't like when somebody survived who was more religious than they were.
Okay.
And the other thing, after I found money and I didn't give to him, and he was always for money. So he came here after the Satmar Rebbe came here. And he tried to establish a school, a yeshiva, on his father's name, on Sighet. And that was, he settled first in Williamsburg. He was there for quite a while. We never went to him except one time. And then he moved to Borough Park. He tried to establish a yeshiva there for 35 years. He just couldn't because he didn't have this power that his uncle
it's
had.
hard. Yeah, right. Yeah.
He didn't have this power and this all things. So, anyway, my oldest son wanted to go to Europe. That's one time we went because he took 10 of his students and he went to Europe to visit his father's grave. And I wanted my son should go along with him. So we paid him $50 that time just for he should take my son. He took my son, and in the end he dumped him and Vienna, and my son, he was able, he took a car, he went to Budapest, and he went by himself. So that's a story that's unbelievable to tell you even now. But not that, the most point is this. This Rebbe, he established the rabbinical organization for Satmar.
For Satmar?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
That was established in 1955.
Only? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, he came in 47 and it was established in 55.
Yeah.
It had, besides him, 4 other rabbis sign in. It was Moses Teitelbaum, his nephew. Then there was another rabbi by the name of Rubin, who was also, Rubin's wife was a niece of the Rebbe. So her mother was a sister to the Rebbe. Then he had another rabbi by the name of Teitelbaum who lived that time in Bronx, a relative. And he had another rabbi, Lebovitz, who lived on Bedford Avenue, not far from him, who we know also. This were the 4 rabbis they established.
The Satmar group?
Yeah.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah, they established a rabbinical organization.
Yeah, it's rather large.
Yeah, and he
unique.
He had very strong bylaws. Who is allowed to be a member in his organization.
Okay, you mean, this is him?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And everything according to his wishes. And he is mentioning it that the rabbinical organization can only function under the old master's direction. But they agreed it has to be followed. So, all right. Then, in 1963, he didn't like what his nephew was doing. The nephew never listened to him. He was always interested in making money. And he had a lot of problems, the Satmar Rebbe, before the war in Siget, and this I know because I went many times in their house with the 2 younger brothers who were there.
And the Satmar part of Judaism, Orthodox Judaism, is referring to the city of Satmar in Romania.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
It was
it's a large group now.
Now it's a large group, but according to Europe, they were very famous too.
Okay, that's the point, yeah.
That's the point because he was strong in his beliefs, and they had to do what
a real leader.
Yeah.
A spiritual leader, yeah.
Not only this, I'll tell you an interesting story. Now, when I'm speaking out, they claim I'm an informer, and an informer is a sin. Where they take that, it's not written in no place.
Who is they that think this, that you are an informer? They think you're bad or something?
Yeah,
or
sure.
People of the Satmar faith, or who?
Even Satmar faith, and I'll tell you soon why.
Okay.
So, my grandfather in Satmar was in charge of watching the yeshiva in Satmar, the boys.
In the town of Satmar.
In this town, Satmar. That was his job.
Yeah, there was no group that Teitelbaum was destined to start called Satmar.
No.
That we think of now.
It was
they were just Orthodox Jewish people in the city of Satmar. Okay.
But
people who go to B&H, a lot of people go to there's a lot of Satmar at B&H. The video store, they're all Satmar. A lot of them are Satmar,
I'm telling you, Satmar was like this. the Rebbe used to come there from time to time to visit.
But Rebbe Teitelbaum.
Teitelbaum. But the previous rabbi who was there, Grunwald, my father-in-law was a student of that rabbi.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had no children, so was nobody who should follow to be rabbi there.
Okay.
So that's why they were looking for a rabbi, and some of the people arranged the Joel Teitelbaum should come there.
Okay.
So he followed after that Grunwald.
Yeah.
Before him, before Grunwald, there was another rabbi, I can't remember his name. He wasn't so strictly Orthodox. I mean, a different type, but he was a very nice Jew. So, but when the Rabbi Teitelbaum came, he changed the whole city. Everything had to be on his way. And I'm telling you, my grandfather, they called him also an informer in Satmar. So that's why I feel proud when they tell me I'm a informer. What means an informer? If some woman or some man didn't follow the scriptures or the way the Rabbi Joel Teitelbaum wanted to be in Satmar, either they didn't get dressed the same way. He used to inform the rabbi, and they were going to that person and telling him, "You're not going to stay here if you're not following what Rabbi Joel tells you."
Okay, so, I'm trying to follow it all. Yeah.
So that's why Satmar was different than Siget. And Siget. Now, his brother died in 26 before I was born. I didn't know him. I don't know what happened there. Originally there were left still 11 children. And there was 6, I think, not married. Some of them were married. His wife died 3 months later. And they were left orphans. And so Joel Teitelbaum was the next of kin. And he had to take care of them. But they never listened to him. He had a hard time with them.
Okay.
Yeah. So now after the war, these two I know that survived. They tell me there was another one, but I never heard about him. It's Moses Teitelbaum, his nephew, and his sister, who survived. So and. They were living in Siget first, and they just wanted to have an easier life, not such a strong, go on their uncle's way, because their uncle was very strict. Yeah. So anyway, after a while, they came to the United States to him too. Yeah. So, and he had always, I mean, I'm telling you, in 1963, he really realized his nephew's not listening to him. So he went, he changed the bylaws, I mean the rabbinical organization, not the bylaws, and he threw all the rabbis out, including his nephew. He went to a lawyer, and he said, "I'm the only one who is in charge of the rabbinical organization, and I'm going to do it." And he had his secretary sign. And that was in Lower Manhattan. I mean, one of the partners of the lawyer is still alive, who remembers when. And it was very, very strange because he went by himself. So, and the order, what he had, where he changed the things, the rabbinical organization, he said he had 105 people in his house at the meeting, and they decided this is the best thing to do.
Gizella, we started the program saying we were very concerned about the state of the world.
Yeah.
And there's a tremendous problem, and there's secrets that have to be known to the world because it's being challenged. There's an economic meltdown. It's very interesting, all of this about the Teitelbaum and everything. So, how does it relate to the real world beyond just the inner workings of Satmar?
So now,
as much as it is interesting.
Let me tell you.
Please.
Now, he passed away Joel Teitelbaum.
Mm.
His nephew took charge of.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah.
whole thing. His nephew is not the same thing. He's a money man. He's a businessman.
Right.
He took all the properties, everything under his control.
Okay.
And he is violating all the bylaws, everything.
Of the Satmar
Of the Satmar community.
Teitelbaum is set up.
That Teitelbaum set up.
And why does that have something to do with the economic meltdown of the world and the larger world? What does that say except you have a man who is avariciously interested in money? I mean, there's a lot of men that are.
No, let me tell you why it has
that's what you're claiming.
Yeah, I'm claiming that.
Yeah.
Yes. So, first of all, he started to harass me, Teitelbaum, this nephew.
Mm.
But because I'm telling you why, I didn't give him the money. And they told me that he wanted to be a rabbi in that town, in Siget, and my father wouldn't let him. They told me this. I don't know for sure.
Well, wait a minute. That's current, or more or less current. When
No,
is this going on?
Before the war. I'm talking about before the war.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to follow.
Yeah.
It's a little complicated. You were off to Auschwitz, and then you come to America, and then you got Teitelbaum in America, and it's a little confusing.
Yeah. So now...
And the one who's becoming the money man was in Siget? It wasn't in the United States?
No, he wasn't in the United States. His nephew, Moses Teitelbaum, he claimed he's the follower. So... according to the Jewish law, I have a list. I don't have it here.
Yeah.
But he got all the belongings from his uncle, a whole list.
Mm.
He got this from the widow, from Joel Teitelbaum's widow.
Okay.
Yeah. Then he figured out, no, I signed for her that she can live in the house. The house belongs to her. The house was bought by his followers, private followers, with their money. Then he realized that the house doesn't belong to him. He couldn't have signed this away. He dismissed his signature, and he went in court to claim that...
This is in Romania?
No, that's here. That's here already. I'm talking about here.
Confused.
Okay, let me tell you. I'm telling you now how it's related. The economy here.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we should get to.
Yeah, this is the most important that I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to tell you one thing from a long time ago. That's why it's relating to that. We Jews had a holy temple. Yeah. Yeah. About 2,000 years ago.
Okay, in Jerusalem.
In Jerusalem.
Yeah.
We were mourning the temple. It's there in the story how it happened. It didn't happen, but from one day to the other, it took time.
Yes.
There is similarities that happened that time to now.
Okay.
Yeah, but the economy.
Yeah.
So it was that time a rabbi by the name of Johanan. And he was the son of Zakkai.
Okay.
You never heard that?
No.
It's written in the Bible.
Okay.
And he had a corrupt nephew, and he was trying to plead with him. They should make peace with the people, and they should try to save the world and save the Holy Temple. He didn't listen to him. He was a terrorist. And that's written in the Bible. That happened 2,000 years ago.
Okay.
The Rabbi Teitelbaum had the same thing with his nephew.
Okay.
He never listened to him. He always did wrong things.
Okay. Yeah.
So he went in court, and the Supreme Court in Brooklyn, he got a judge who everything was ruled in his favor. I had a dispute with my partner. He wouldn't give me an apartment. That I took him in a partner. I sold half of my house in Williamsburg. And I had an agreement if there is going to be an empty apartment because I give for his daughter. And he wouldn't abide by the agreement. So what should I do? there was nobody to go and to scream because Moses Teitelbaum was the rabbi. He just was a crook.
Hmm. Yeah. So they don't want anybody to say that he's a crook.
Yeah.
And he's claiming to be the leader of the Satmar sect.
So I went.
Is that correct currently?
Yes. Yes.
And he's a crook in your view.
And
that's what you're claiming.
I'm claiming not. I'm calling him a faker.
A faker.
That's so, and I called him like this in the news, in the papers, in the court too.
Okay, because he had bad dealings with you, and because
not only with me,
with
others.
Other you say.
Yeah, yeah.
And there are people who take exception to your calling a figure that is an authority figure within the sect a faker.
Yeah, sure he is.
Well, yeah.
Because first of all, he didn't abide by the rabbi's bylaws.
Right.
He changed everything for his own benefit.
Okay, it's not the first time that's happened with people who get power and influence.
Yeah, I know, but
no, you're wanting to relate this to the meltdown of the American economy and so forth.
And I'll show you how.
Because some people are greedy and nasty.
Yes,
is that the point?
Yes.
Or what is the point? I don't quite understand.
The point is this. I'm going to tell you a little bit.
Yeah.
I went. They took me to a rabbinical court. I didn't know that time. Not to a Satmar. It's related to Satmar. In that rabbinical court, I paid for their decision $3,800 and some change dollars.
Yeah.
That happened in '89. 2
Uh-huh.
years later comes down a relative of his, of the Satmar Rebbe, of the present, Moses Teitelbaum.
Moses Teitelbaum, who you see as a faker,
yes,
is the Rebbe of the Satmar sect.
Satmar community.
Okay.
Now, comes down, here is now, you had the debate yesterday.
Between
in Hofstra College.
Yes.
Here is a rabbi who is related to Moses Teitelbaum. He's the dean of Hofstra.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a faker, too.
He's a faker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want this guy should be. I mean,
in court.
In court. I tried them, but they
show a picture if you can come in on this picture. This is a person she's claiming is a person of great respect. Head of Hofstra is a crook. You say a crook.
I'm telling you.
Come in on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is her claim. I don't know anything what she's talking about.
No, I don't.
This is based upon evidence that you have of things he's done with you personally?
But me personally.
And that has to do with the debate between President
why they went to
Obama and the breakdown of the American system somehow. I don't quite understand.
Now I'm going to come to it.
Come to it. We only got 20 minutes left, you know.
That's all?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The thing is this.
Did they get this? Did they get the picture and everything?
This professor, Aaron Tversky, he lives in Borough Park at 1772 49th Street.
Right.
He was the dean. They claim he retired now. He claims he's sick. 2 years later, that's against the Jewish law.
Okay.
There was a case called Meisel Sanur. Meisel's wife's grandfather was also from Sighet, and not a believer in Moses Teitelbaum. He was very angry at these people who didn't believe in him and who didn't give him money. So he decided with Aaron Tversky that they're going to make a law. A Meisel's case, they wrapped Meisel for about $600,000 and then another $1,000 for their law. The law was made by previous Chief Judge from New York State, Saul Wachler.
I've heard that name, yeah. So
and it was a completely false thing.
What is the overall? We only got about 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
You're talking a great arcane inside poker between Satmar people who are having trouble with one another. How does it relate to the world?
So let me tell you what's it.
If you could.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to make it fast.
Yeah, it has to be 10 minutes. That's all.
So how it's relating to the world, because Moses Teitelbaum, when I filed this Swiss lawsuit, he came along with his lawsuit too.
You were the first person to do that.
Yeah.
Because your father had deposited money in the Swiss banks before the Nazi thing, and they did not get it to you, and you've been cheated out of that.
That's all.
Is that right?
But
is that what you're basing this on?
Yes.
Okay, that's what you're basing on your claim that they are cheap because they cheated you. And because you were cheated,
they're cheating other people.
All right, they're cheating other people, and so there are people who are cheating people, and you're saying that relates to the downfall of the American economy.
Yes.
Because these people represent people who run the American economy, or how does that relate except inside baseball between some Satmar Jews? I can't follow it.
Let me tell you,
it's like a gang warfare or something.
Yes,
all right.
Is.
And you say that's the way the world is.
I have all the documents to prove it.
To prove what? Exactly.
What I'm telling you.
What are you telling me is some inside baseball about fighting for turf and money within the Jewish community of the Satmar. That's a little group. They have the same thing in the Italians.
Listen,
they fight.
They grabbed millions of dollars from the Holocaust.
Okay, from the Swiss bank stuff. And you were the first one who did that.
From the Swiss bank.
Right.
There is a group called the Claims Conference.
Okay.
They were established in '52 when we weren't even settled.
Yeah.
And they're grabbing money, billions of dollars from Germany.
They're able to do that because they can bring political pressure to have them pay money for the Swiss.
Exactly.
So it's good that there's some money that should be coming for the people who suffered the Holocaust and survived, and they've stolen it from you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And has that got to do with the downfall of the world economy?
Yes.
Why?
That's because they have too much money.
Okay, so
and
the people who have...
they're controlling the whole world.
They what?
They controlling, they do
that's different.
Politics with the money.
Okay, they're controlling the whole world, you said.
Yeah.
Who is it that's controlling the world? The Satmar faith? The Satmar rabbi?
He was a part.
Yeah.
There is a few.
Who is controlling the world?
There is a few other rabbis. Now, I'm going to tell you just one thing.
Yeah.
Now, lately was in the newspapers about Ronald Lauder.
Who?
Ronald Lauder.
Something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He is now making some deals with Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's names we can recognize in the news. Yeah.
Yeah. Ronald Lauder has a rabbi who was in charge of his foundation. I went to his rabbi's name is Oswald Besser. I went to that rabbi about how they cheated me in the rabbinical court. I went to him about 18 years ago. And he had that time wages from $67,000 from the foundation. And besides his wife was also, and the Ronald Lauder Foundation, Estee Lauder Foundation.
$70,000. We're talking about a $700 million bailout of the world economy. The world is economy run by a lot of people. There are some Satmar Jews. There's Jews, and you're saying they are the ones who are or the way they act or acts or what, that they are the ones who are destroying the economy of the world. Why?
Why? So,
what's the connection? I don't see it. $70,000 is not $700 million.
No. That's
you understand?
I understand.
Okay,
listen,
get to it.
Let me tell you. There was here in the Federal Reserve Bank 2.5 tons of gold that came from the victims from the Auschwitz.
Really?
And in England was 4 tons of gold from the victims from the Auschwitz.
That's a lot with the price of gold going up. So yeah.
I went to England. They wouldn't let me. There is documents. They wouldn't let me into the conference. Here in the State Department, they didn't let me in because it was all stolen. It was given to Hillary. Then she gave some.
Given to who?
To Hillary.
Hillary Clinton, the presidential candidate. What was given to Hillary?
The money from the
How much money? And who gave it to her? How much money?
I don't know. I think Stuart Eisenstadt.
Stuart Eisenstadt's another name that we know. Yeah. Okay, go on.
So they released the money from the Federal Reserve Bank. It was here for 50 years.
Okay.
And they did politics with them.
They did politics with it.
They give some for Arafat, for all kinds of politics. And they're doing the same thing now. They're ripping off people. They took away from me a factory. People got a mortgage 2 years ago for close to $5 million.
Let's make it straight. Help me here.
Yeah.
Who is the they? Who is the they?
Who is a partner? Who is
No, who is the they? You say they took it away, they gave it to Hillary Stewart Eisenstadt. You throw out a lot of names. Who is the they? Who's the culprit? What's the problem? And how does it relate to the downfall of the world economy that everybody's concerned with now, rather than some people being cheated by others?
Listen, because there is many people in the Satmar community and the other communities who are ripping off the banks, and they do bankruptcies. And who should replace that money?
Okay, I'm trying to understand the linking to the large meltdown of the whole world economy, based upon the fact that some Satmar people have cheated other Satmar people or other Jews or something. I can't quite get the connection to the big picture.
Listen.
Other than
there is
nefarious things going on, which go on all the time.
So that's why
from one group to another. And you're particularly feeling bad because your group has been taken advantage of. So you're feeling very put upon by the fact that some of the people have taken advantage of you, and because they've taken advantage of you, that's what's causing the world to fall apart?
Yes, because...
Yeah, but that's very focused on your own situation.
No. It's not only mine. Listen, years ago when I went to court, I saw a black man, and he bought a house in Crown Heights. He didn't have money to pay a lawyer. He showed me he got a mortgage. So who's the mortgagee? And I'm looking at his papers. He didn't even know how to look. I have the papers.
Right.
There. So it's it's some rabbinical organization who are backing the mortgage.
Okay.
I went around looking for that rabbinical organization. It doesn't exist. That man lost his house. There were many like this. There is many in my community.
Who are the bad guys? You're saying there's some people who are bad guys who are causing the world to fall apart.
Listen.
Who are they?
In my case, I'm fighting this mortgage. My partners, they stole my property.
They sold your property, but that's not the end of the world.
Wait a minute. They destroyed my factory.
They destroyed your factory?
And they took out, their children took out a mortgage from $5 million. And I'm begging the bank from Washington Mutual, take back the money.
Washington Mutual is just in trouble, right.
Yeah.
And is it these people, are there certain people that cheated you?
Not only me.
Not only you, but others, and they are at the core of what's causing the whole world economy to fall down.
Yes.
I don't see quite the connection to the Federal Reserve and that. I see you saying that they cheated you, they've cheated others. But I don't. There's a lot of cheating that's been going on in the history of the world.
Well,
and it isn't causing a downfall like now in the economy. We're having a Great Depression. There, because of they cheating you, is leading to a Great Depression.
No, it's not only me.
No, okay.
That's why I want to tell you how many others.
But who are they? The bankers? Are they the plutocratic class? Is it Satmar Jews? Who is it that's doing it?
It's corrupt.
It's corruption in our leadership?
Yes.
Is it in the White House? Is it in the Republican Party, in the Democratic Party? Is the whole system, the whole world system, the Federal Reserve, everything is corrupt? The courts, everything? Where is it?
Most of them.
Okay, that's what you're saying. The system that runs the world is corrupt.
At least me. And I'm going to tell you, because if a rabbi from Satmar can buy judges who he wants.
Can buy what? Judges, so the courts are corrupt.
The courts are corrupt.
In America?
Yeah.
You had experience of the courts being corrupt in Romania and in Germany? When you were put into... You had, you were a child then, but there were a big corruption took place under the name of fascism in Germany.
Yeah.
Do you see something like that happening?
I'm telling you, that time I couldn't speak
No, I know,
out.
I'm talking now. Do you see a comparison?
I'm telling you, I couldn't speak out. I was a child.
Of course,
But now I know, and I have documents to prove it.
Your documents to prove there's a great deal of corruption in the court.
Exactly.
Well, did you ever see the movie Casablanca?
No.
Did you ever know the movie? Do you see movies? You watch movies?
No.
They have a thing in there where there's a famous scene, and the guy says they're in a gambling place, Casablanca, Rick's, and they say, gambling's taking place in. We're shocked. We're going to close it down. We're shocked gambling. Corruption is taking place within the system. There's corruption all the time within the system.
But not, it shouldn't happen. The rabbi shouldn't approve it.
A rabbi shouldn't approve it, nor should a priest, nor should, members of the Protestant cloth or good, upstanding citizens shouldn't, but they have. Is it identified with any political? We have an election coming up.
I
Are you going to
know.
vote in the election? And will you vote for one of the Democratic or Republicans? Or is there a true citizens party you would vote for? Because they're all corrupt. The Democratic Party's corrupt. Republicans Party's corrupt. The whole world is corrupt. Where are you getting to with this condemnation?
I'm going to tell you
Okay,
where I'm getting
we
to
got
it.
8 minutes left.
I believed a little bit in Obama, but if he has backing from Paul Walker, who is a big crook,
He is. He's listening to Paul Volcker.
yeah, and he stole our money, and he did. We were
so it's now
begging
Paul Volcker
Paul
again.
Walker, and then he has George Soros.
Well, he's talked with George Soros.
Yeah, so Soros destroyed in England the stock market.
Well, okay, go on.
Yeah.
So there's nobody in a position of political or noted, of leadership that is not corrupt. Everybody is corrupt. Is that what you're saying? Everybody. There's nobody left that isn't corrupt.
Find because they couldn't.
That's what you're saying. That's a general condemnation.
Yeah.
Okay.
They couldn't survive otherwise. They have to have the money and they have to have the connections.
And so the system is corrupt.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we do? Shall we not vote, or shall we make a revolution? Shall we? What do we do?
People have to save this country.
How are we going to save a country if everybody's corrupt? How?
I'm just going to a little bit. This is a picture of the Holy Temple that I made.
Here's the picture of the Holy Temple. This is back 2,000 years ago. David.
Yeah. Solomon.
Solomon, right, okay.
But I made this from...
Can you come in close on this gentleman, please?
I made this from wood for the Satmar Rebbe because he was an honest man.
It was Teitelman.
Yeah.
Not Moshe.
Not Moshe. Joel. No. It was 11 and a half years in his private study. So I'm telling you, they destroyed the temple
there?
Because of a corrupt nephew.
So now they're destroying the temple here.
Yeah, and they
destroy integrity
all his
by
work.
The corruption.
He worked for 75 years as a rabbi, and he established his followers.
I remember Harriet Karchner, who's very much with the Neturah Karta people.
Oh, yeah?
Satmar goes over with Neturah Karta. But she was very close with Teitelman and was secretary or was very close with him and had a great admiration for a giant who was the original Rebbe Teitelman. You don't know her?
I don't know her. Maybe.
The Neturah Karta. Are you tied into Neturah Karta?
I know them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
I know
Neturah
them.
Karta, and they respected Teitelman.
Yeah.
And Harriet Karchner, you should have that name.
Yeah.
She was a person who was advancing their cause.
Yeah, that's
in the name of justice.
I'm going to ask him.
So this was on his wall. And now you're saying the world has become corrupted even to where...
So if they're stealing from Holocaust survivors...
Okay, she's a Holocaust survivor who had a claim upon it.
Us,
and they stole money that should have rightly been coming to you as a Holocaust survivor. And also your father had deposited that in a Swiss bank before the Second World War.
Listen, what I'm talking to you, I prepared in papers. I filed it in court. The judge denied it the same day I filed it. 250 pages, all documents.
So the courts are corrupt.
Sure.
The courts are corrupt. They buy it. The strong buy the judges, and the judges are in their pocket in that. And it's crooked. That's the point you want to make.
That's the point.
And that's why the system's falling apart.
In the Bible it says like this. I have a part of the Bible. If the judges are going to be corrupt, there is going to be a war around.
Are you optimistic? We only got 5 minutes left. Are you optimistic for the human prospect, or what do you think is going to happen?
I mean, it has.
You think we're heading for a Great Depression that led to Hitler and Germany and so forth?
Listen, I mean, the way it looks now, it's the global warming for this and for that. People think they can change the whole world for their own benefit. No, that's not.
How about if they change? People think they can change the world for everybody, for good, make it not corrupt.
The Satmar Rebbe, Joel Teitelman, he said before, because we are believing Jews, before the Messiah is going to come to us, Israel has to be wiped off the map.
Who said that?
Joel Teitelman.
Joel, the good man.
Yeah.
He said Israel has to be wiped out. That's a very provocative statement.
Let me tell you why. Because it was established not on holy days. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's in Turkata, too. They're very opposed to the whole Zionist idea in the modern expression.
But he was saying that the people should play. It shouldn't be destroyed through the Arabs. It should be done by God himself.
Well, God may be doing that by a back door by what they're doing to the national economy and world economy.
I'm telling you, they don't like it if I say it.
Who doesn't?
I mean, some people are going to hear this. They're going to shut me up. But that's the truth. But now, this book that's coming out with my son's writing, it's double, and different things is included.
Okay.
Also, a list from his students before the war, from Joel Teitelbaum, 368 boys he had, and from which country they coming and who were staying with him.
Okay. But, yeah.
And he tried to establish a nice community.
Yeah.
He worked for 75 years to do it.
Yeah.
And his nephew destroyed everything because he has money in Switzerland.
Yeah.
And that's it. And if you're going to get how many people became now, only in New York, in my area, millionaires from real estate. They didn't get the money. It didn't fall into him.
Yeah.
I worked for my factory in one place 25 years, and I was left with nothing. Just why? Why they did it to me? Not because greed, because I was screaming at them.
Oh, I see, because you're saying this thing. And also that ties into the larger issue. I heard you say, Mr. Teitelbaum said that there cannot be Mashiach until the destroy of Israel.
That was his.
That's his thought. Because it was a heresy. And they were wrong to do that. The modern state of Israel was the way they did it with military force without it being in keeping with the Torah. They violate.
Exactly.
What do you call it? A heresy or an apostate? A terrible thing that's been done, and that's why the world is having trouble because they've not lived up to the promise of the Torah.
That's exactly.
That's a bigger charge than just that some people got corrupt.
No. That's the whole thing.
But your travail led you to do that and see things that way. Yeah.
I mean, I'm living through it.
Yeah.
I'm living through it. I'm suffering. They started. Moses Teitelbaum started to harass me and to do things against me. A child was hurt.
We'll probably get some response to this program, I think, by some of the people at Satmar. Moshe Satmar.
I mean, he's fooling around. But you see, the youngsters now, they don't know better. They don't believe.
Yeah.
I would give you a letter that was sent to me.
Let's stay in touch. I think the clock's about to stop on this program. You got all this documentation. Thanks, honey. So good to see you. You don't shake hands. Okay, good.
But please tell your people they should get together and try to save this world.
Okay, good. I wish we'd gotten that. I don't think we got that line on the tape. They should change this world. That's what we finally.